Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the official art community. This is Fortunate coming at you. We are now sitting on November 21st. This is a Monday, and we are excited to be here with you yet again for another night, another podcast, another time. So here we are. I will not speak too much longer. I'll go ahead and hand over the floor to our wonderful founder, Mr. Alice. The floor is yours, sir.
Thank you for the great introduction, Mr. Fortunate. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to ARK. This is the podcast number 21. And we're here again this evening with you. We're going to give you some updates. And also, we have some great guests here tonight. We have Dr. Kelly Snook, who created the fantastic calculator that you folks are using, creating your strategy. It's a very important tool here of ARK to really be able to analyze and do the due diligence and create your strategy as you set yourself up. If you're going to do a multi-wallet, single wallet, you'll be able to really see how to best manage and stay on top of your investment to be at the best rate of return. We also have Chris Dugan, Florida Realtor. Great to see you here, sir. Got Brett Norden, Smackworth in the house, Terry Dibbs, Gordy Catcoin, Silver Seven, NATO, who's always missed. He's only missed one podcast, I think, that I've actually noticed. Great to have you here, brother. Davio, Tarmo, great staff, S23, Nawaf. Thank you guys for being here. And for those of you folks that are not able to be here, I know you're listening. I get a lot of DMs thanking us for recording this so you can stay up to date and hear the conversations, the strategies that we have here at ARK as we're getting ready for Friday, which is going to be the third and final round of our pre-sales, getting ready for the December 2nd launch that we're all very, very excited about. One great announcement that we have, it's posted here in the pinned messages for all you folks to check out. We will be tomorrow over at the DGen protocol. It'll be hosted by Crypto Black Sheep, a great group of crypto enthusiasts, investors. These guys love the ROI DApp space. They've been hearing about ARK. They have already invested. They're building their teams. They're very excited. They see that there's something really interesting, different, and they're definitely buying in. So they want us to be over there, answer some questions, have a great conversation with those guys, and that'll be at 1 p.m. PST, 3 p.m. EST, and 8 p.m. UTC. In admins, if you guys could fix it says 12 p.m. PST, but it's actually 1 on the actual announcement. If you can take care of that, guys, I really appreciate it. Thank you. Juan, the tree hugger, our very own farmer here, because ARK is also for farmers and agriculturists. How are you doing tonight, Juan? I know you're usually busy, but if you're able to say hi, go ahead.
Hey, brother, I'm cooking up a little dinner here, but yeah, I'm good, man. How are you doing? And yes, absolutely for the horticulturalists.
I hope you enjoy your dinner, man. Great to have you back on the podcast. We have Dr. Kelly Snook. Thank you, Dr. Kelly, for being here. An absolute pleasure. We are getting a lot of views on your videos. A lot of folks are watching it and learning how to use it and coming back here and asking questions, which is exactly what we want all the investors to do, to really understand the investment inside out before you make your financial decisions. Mr. Chris Dugan, how are you doing this evening?
Doing great, Bubba. How about you?
Excited, happy to be here, working very hard. The team is on fire, brother. On fire. These guys are really cooking it up. Fantastic work that's being done.
Looking forward to getting this thing on.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for all of your support. All your support, man. You've been fantastic as a syndicate founder and even more as an advisor, and bringing your friends and your trusted people. You've got a great reputation in this space, and well earned and deserved. Thank you, brother.
Well, thank you. We like dealing with good people, so when we find them, we stick with them.
Do, man. I can't just run into them. And yeah, I think there might be some good people coming over. I think your boy Air might be coming over to the island over the weekend. Come and say in person. So yeah, man, that'll be really neat. And I think my other friend will probably come from Germany, who was here a couple weeks ago. He's an investor here too. He's been here a couple times over the years. So great folks, man, that you meet in this space. Absolutely, it's one of the best parts.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Hey, Mr. Brett, you want to come and maybe share with us, give us some updates? I know you're working on some very, very interesting things. We've been having great meetings. A lot of partnership and growth is really in front of us, guys. And as we get closer and establishing proper deals, we're going to be able to bring that information to you. But as of right now, we're continuing with all the work and the contracts. You want to go ahead and share with us a bit tonight, Brett?
Sure. Yeah, I've been working just on little tweaks to the white paper where people have questions, trying to clarify some statements and things. There was confusion around some of the NDV calcs. We got those over to the team, and they've created all these cool little commands in the Telegram group, so people can access those different definitions and sections of the white paper just right through Telegram, which is awesome. Yeah, and so we're working on the next phase of the roadmap, which is really our push to simplify DeFi. That's our kind of our mission statement in a nutshell. And we've already started putting together the process flows and starting the high level discussions about the technology pieces we would need. And a majority of them, I'm happy to say, are at our fingertips already through our development team and a lot of their connections and partnerships that they already have or projects that they've already worked on before. So I'm more optimistic than ever that we can move pretty quickly on getting to the end goal, which is to streamline and make everything so seamless for people. We believe, or I just know that if we can simplify the process, it will attract so many more new investors, people just off the street, which is really what our target is. We've built a great foundation of experts in this area, in DeFi and in daily ROI dApps specifically. And I think we have the best foundation, the best team possible to really make the next phase a reality. So the next couple of weeks, obviously leading up to launch, is going to be busy with all of the logistics and everything, with getting your pre-sale NFTs claimed and getting bond and legacy NFTs in your wallet so you're ready for launch. But then shortly after that, we're going to start revealing what that next phase of the project will look like as we move this to more of a mobile app scenario, where you'll be able to simply, scan a QR code on your phone and set up a referral, have them go and purchase ArkFi right from their mobile device, and then they're in the app and running. And then we're going to have a lot of, education process and communication right through the web app. That's our goal ultimately, that everything's handled through that for the average investor that's not familiar with DeFi and all the technology and what's under the hood. It's going to be a lot more simplified and streamlined for them. Of course, you'll still have all of the, the white paper, and if you have multi-wallet strategies running and you're really comfortable with the team building side of it and referral structures and all those things, that'll all be at your fingertips as well. But our goal is to be able to onboard in a much lower barrier way your neighbors, your friends, your colleagues, and get them aboard, and then they can start to develop and learn and grow and expand their investment as they go. So that's really what we're working on, and I feel really confident that we can get there in a short period of time. So that would be exciting to see that shortly after launch we could get into this web app design and make it available, start hardening that, and through our advisory board get immediate feedback, and then start to release things to the community so we can really drill into how it works and have them provide that feedback and that closed loop so that we can really push that out there with the best possible design to start with.
Absolutely, Brad. I couldn't agree with you more. I think we're both on the same page here. The prime directive is really understanding that, you know, this is a small pond, this DeFi sector, and we don't want to fish here. We have a great foundation here already of investors that you know, are pretty much across a lot of the other fantastic, you know, ROI DApp platforms. But you know, our goal here is to go fish in the ocean. You know, go get the nurse, go get the Uber driver, go get the farmer, go get these folks that um, through our mobile application. It's going to be a very seamless and easy process. They don't have to sit there and, you know, learn how to set up their MetaMask and go through all that process, where we understand also in emerging markets, countries that are in development still, they mostly, you know, have quite a large user base, a majority user base of mobile users instead of desktop, you know, computers. So we understand that, and we see that that's where we need to get to. We have to refine, I think, our message as well as our user interface. You know, have it be as simple as possible, maybe with like a drop-down menu where you can get into the more, you know, complex parts of ARK and the pools and how everything works. So I can tell you there's a lot of work being done here. So we're able to really transcend and communicate with these folks, cross that bridge over to make it appealing, easy, and of course, a fantastic investment that if they do the research, someone just takes the time, explains it to them, you know, and has them download the mobile app. You show them from your mobile app, your QR code, they scan it, they get a credit card, they're able to go ahead and buy their ArkFi, come into the protocol, and start, you know, earning under you immediately, being a part of your team, and then that person's going to be able to go and create their own syndicate as well. So look, that's our focus. That's where our energy really is going to go to. We think the system is absolutely balanced, fair, very secure, and we just need to get it out there to all the folks. We don't want to sit here and you know, fight for space in a small pond. We want to go out there, and there's so much, as they say, so much fish in the sea that really could take a lot of benefit from ArkFi. Especially, you know, you have a lot of folks understanding that the fiat in their bank is absolutely losing a lot of its value. Inflation is here for all of us on a global scale. So I think we're in a perfect time to go out there and, you know, really win some hearts and minds and be able to connect to those folks and bring them on board the ARK. Let's get this crypto. Is there anybody that has a question or a comment?
Yes.
We'd love to go right ahead, sir.
Hi there. Hey, Alice. Thanks. Yeah, this mobile app's going to be very great tool for boarding people in the real world, especially mobile adoption and usage globally. So one thing was mentioned before, that not only are you going to do fiat unwrapping, which I assume is going to be early on with the early editions of the app rolling out, but also having a debit card to allow people to use ARK. So when they do, let's say they're withdrawing or claiming and swapping, they will be able to use that with their debit card. So can you touch on the idea on when that would happen or when that would be available? The debit card for that?
We don't have a date, as we're still in negotiations to have that, you know, fiat, you know, off board from the application. But we know that the system is working. We are in talks with a fantastic company that's doing that, and we want to integrate with them. And you know, until we solidify, you know, the verbal interest and move forward to actually getting to, you know, documents and making, you know, everything, you know, completely legal and everything being taken care of correctly the right way. I think as we get closer to that, we will be making an announcement, but it would be premature at this stage, but we're very excited. We're doing our due diligence. We have friends that are currently using that system and, being able to go to the ATMs and take their cash out without limits. They're making large purchases with those cards. And I believe that really just closes the loop here, from being able to onboard with your fiat and also take it out. And of course, we do, encourage and, tell folks that is important to pay your taxes in whichever jurisdiction you live in. That is your responsibility. It is not ours to pay your taxes. So we do encourage you guys to do your research and figure out what that process is. But of course, it is entirely up to your responsibility, right? So very excited about that. That's going to be huge to have that. And great team, great company that's got this technology.
Yeah, so that's in itself a great utility. Like there's the other project I don't need to mention, but their main focus is on providing that like an offshore ramp out debit card to use globally. So is that's going to be like a white label thing from an issuer that you partner with. Obviously everything's offshore. So can you share which country that would come from?
Like I said, at this point, it would be premature for us to give information as we have not concluded a integration with the company, and we're in the stages of due diligence and verbal interest. So I do not feel it's correct at this time to go into further details.
Totally reasonable.
But from a general perspective, as you requested, absolutely. And I think you understand it, and you could see the great benefit that's ahead for all of us and all the millions of people. One great factor is that the only country that is not able to onboard is North Korea, which fits perfectly with ARK. I mean, we want to go everywhere. We want to be able to really go out to the global market. There's a lot of folks. I mean, you look at Argentina, the peso it's trash. I mean, we've had Venezuela with 1,000,000% inflation. If you would have bought $1 million worth of the Venezuelan bolivar, you'd probably have like $1. I mean, it's not something to laugh at, but it's crazy. And not to be fearful, but we need to understand that there's a lot of folks that are understanding that we're going through tough times, and we most likely will go and continue. We don't know when we're going to have that shift. And that's what we're doing here. We're getting that stable rate of return. We're taking away the volatility, using our liquidity controller system. I mean, we're taking all the precautions to make sure that folks that make the decision to risk their capital in an investment, that everything's been thought of to ensure that the fairness and the sustainability is built in, and that we also have, our external investments that are, I think, going to help the project a lot. I think that's a missing piece that once we were able to incorporate that as well, it's just going to make us stronger. It's going to be able to really take us to a level where we want to be. I mean, for us, I mean, for me personally, I'd love to be able to have enough capital here to pay every investor 10 times over. And that's a huge goal. But, our intentions, our work ethic, and what we're here to do is to strive for that.
Yeah. No, so yes, thank you. But it will be like a general, like a crypto debit card that could be used with any crypto and assets, right? Not just ARK. It's like it actually is a standalone utility. Is that right?
It's a third party. It wouldn't be ARK. It was a third party that is a company that is doing all this processing and has the banking relationship, and will be going through their KYC system and onboarding. And we're just plugging in and integrating and giving this solution for onboarding fiat and also offboarding fiat for the customers. And of course, there's other ways. I mean, folks can use crypto.com. They could use Kraken. They could go to Coinbase, Revolut for those of you guys that are in Europe. Some folks are looking for a little bit more of a privacy, right? They're looking for a bit of an offshore component. And again, that goes into their whole tax planning, which is up to every investor here. But I think providing that's going to really provide a great system and function for folks to be able to have a little bit more freedom and be able to withdraw. I know my accounts have limits, and that's sometimes a pain in the butt when you need to get some cash, right? Or you need to transfer, or you need to purchase a high ticket item. So there's so many great advantages. We're extremely excited about it because it just fits perfectly into what we're doing here at ARK. Perfect time.
Yeah, that's very interesting, and necessary. And so, yeah, I'd be interested in that, and I'd like to learn more when you have it. But I assume it sounds like though we'd have to KYC later though, right? And it wouldn't be like a sub account with you with ARK, like it's ARK's relationship, but would we have to still KYC into users?
You would absolutely have to KYC. It's a pretty easy and simple process. It's not stringent. You don't have to give your social security number, which is wonderful. I find for maintaining your privacy, which I think is important as a citizen of the world. Whenever you can avoid that, that's always great. But yeah, there's a process and a signature, and we here at ARK, we are not custodians of fiat. That is not our business. That is not what we do. So like I said, it's a third party that is integrating, that has the banking relationship and is doing the business in a very ethical and professional manner, which fits our ethos, our culture, what we want to do here for all of our investors. So yeah, it wouldn't be an account here with us and a sub account, as you said. No, you would have your own direct process with that third party provider when the time comes that we're there and able to integrate and all the contracts are signed and everything's set up correctly.
Cool. Yeah, that's a needed additional option for people to off ramp, and utilize with that. May I ask also? Wanted to ask. You mentioned earlier, you emphasized the word secure. You kept saying that, which is great. That the system is secure. Wondering, like I have somebody, for example, wants to join and he's like, oh, another one not good. Another app is, came out, or obviously with exchanges and everything. I'm not saying this is the same, but what would you? Is there something specific that you could provide that would help? Nothing can be assured fully, right? But to relieve the concern, reduce concern over security, specifically that the ARK is implementing, as much as you can share, of course.
Maybe Brett, you want to take that one?
Sure. Yeah. Are you specifically talking about like on our web servers, our DApp servers, how we're interacting? Obviously, we're using, Web3 technology and secured through our smart contracts in the blockchain. Are you specifically talking about our services, our dApps?
Yeah, safety of safety of that. Somebody, vulnerability, stuff like that. Whatever you can share. Of course, it's a very sensitive area, right?
Sure. Yeah. So what I can say is that I think Atlas has gone into this before. One of our team members is a very high-level security expert for a country in Europe, and he's already proven himself to be that in a couple different instances. So, yeah, we feel pretty confident that we'll not only have the infrastructure, but also the ongoing monitoring and the security policies that are needed to make sure that the vulnerabilities are reduced to an absolute minimum. Obviously, we can't guarantee that, that's going to be. There's always somebody or something out there that could possibly cause a disruption, but we're taking every precaution possible to make sure that we have the highest level of security available and in place. So that's kind of the general statement or comment. We think it's one of the pillars of the business for sure. We know that there's some people that are in our community and on our advisory board that will also be able to assist with that. So as part of our operation, as part of making investors feel comfortable and secure coming in. So it's not just the audits on the contracts; it's our ongoing, security of the system itself, and then also for the user experience. If you have dApps websites that are going down, have interruptions or attacks, you have to be able to make sure that everybody's confident in the product. If they see intermittence or issues with those products, they're obviously going to be less comfortable making an investment, or maybe have some uncertainty about the product. So yeah, it's definitely something that we're already ingraining into our culture, and we have that team member available to us and dedicated to that part of the rounding out the technology in that way. So I feel really, really good about it. As I mentioned, I'm been onboarding some friends and family and things, and having the level of confidence that I have in a project allows me to go out there and set people up on MetaMask and put their money in the system, knowing that we have these great controls and things in place. I haven't felt this way ever about a project in DeFi, to be honest, or even crypto to that degree. But I think as we go and we're able to prove ourselves in that manner, I think that alone will create a lot more people that become team builders, that become referrers, because not only are they having success, but then they can stand behind the referral, which I've always had an issue with on other protocols. And it might have just been something like, I'm embarrassed by the website, or, hey, I've heard some information that I wasn't too comfortable with, and I didn't want to put, my friends into that investment, and then have something come about and be revealed about it, and a rug pull or whatever it might be. So yeah, I think all of those things, from the contracts to the websites, the dApps, everything has to be thought through from a security perspective, has to be thought through from a investor confidence perspective. And then as we go to the mass market, that's going to have to become an even bigger part of our, of our operation and our day to day. So yeah, it's something top of mind for us for sure.
Okay, but like you said, you had a security firm or a firm that you hired specifically focused on that, and like to prevent, to make sure you're covered with the infrastructure and the like exploits, and for example, the contracts and any, flash attacks or whatever. So
We have
you're
a
able,
we have a full-time team
Yeah.
member that is security expert. We may also have a third-party security as a service down the road, but at this moment in time, we do not. But we haven't even launched yet, so we need to put the basic infrastructure in place for those security things, and then have those policies and procedures and things better defined. Our first step is to get through the contract audits, and with our security expert on the team, we have the basic security that we're going to need. But as far as like, we need to define the policies and things going forward, and then communicate with the community about what those are. But we'll have those, shortly after launch, if not near term towards launch. So yeah, I'm really confident in that.
Okay, we have a phenomenal security, not to put him on the spot, in our in the house today, and I'm wondering if there's another better question.
We know Silver 7. We know Silver
Yep.
7. Yeah. No, we've talked a little bit with Silver. nothing we would share on a Telegram chat at this moment in time. But yeah, the
Certainly.
whole thing around security is definitely a priority for us. So that's probably the most I can share about that for now. But yeah, we'll talk more about that and be able to reveal more as we go here. But I would say rest assured, knowing that we at least have a direct team member that's on top of things and has that security mindset, and he's had obviously experience and a business that's related to that. So the service is there at the moment, but we would like to make it, have third-party oversight so that there's more comfort from the community, that it's not just an in-house, an in-house service or anything like that.
Okay, and a side thing on the liquidity from the controller that's going to be accumulating. It's basically stagnant. It provides you runway for supporting the floor price. Are you gonna utilize that to investments, or I mean, what investment, what kind of investments would you be using if so from that? Not other raises like with the Dow or whatever, but
No,
with
the
specifically that.
treasury, the external investments come from the treasury, not the liquidity controller. So the liquidity pool and the liquidity controller have liquidity for the buy and sell function of the liquidity controller. So that, that's not touched. If we had to supplement the liquidity controller with additional liquidity in that pool, we could take from the reserves in the treasury to do that. But the primary use of the treasury is obviously for development and external investments.
Cool. And do you think can you share when the mobile app would be, like the initial version of it? Would that be the end of the year or in Q1?
Yeah, we're hoping to have, we're going to probably do a phased approach and we'll include people in on this discussion. But we want to have an immediate web app that has some of the basic functionality. But as we add the on-ramp, the off-ramps, and do further integrations, we'll probably have a second version of it shortly thereafter. But our goal is to get the web app piece with the functionalities of the vault and the foundation and things in people's hands pretty quickly, and start to storyboard and mock up what that total solution will look like. And I would expect that will be in Q1. So let's say we're launching beginning of December. We will run into Christmas and the holiday season. So I would say, pretty safely, we want to have the web app at the beginning of the year with an initial functionalities, and then expand that and grow into our total solution, which is a full on-ramp and off-ramp solution that has more, mass market appeal and simplified controls. Would be probably into the middle of Q1, end of Q1. And then our roadmap for that would then be from the web app, have a fully downloadable iOS, Android version available out. But that takes a lot of, vetting, and they have to go through a whole process where they audit the app before they allow it on their stores for download. So we know that's probably about a 6-month process to get to that point. But the web app will function exactly the same, look exactly the same. It'll just be through a browser deployed on your phone immediately, and then we'll have the future app that has all of those same functions, but in a downloadable version, out probably in the middle of next year.
Yeah. That's going to take more time for the mobile app, not a web app system, like simulating your the web interface
Yeah,
that you're starting with. So
it'll look and feel for 95% of the users, they won't even know the difference. But obviously there's, some more that we could do with the downloadable app. But there's also the security that's going to be needed for that. And also just the revisioning that has to happen constantly as those, those operating systems are updated, upgraded. So we'll have to have, we'll have to have the team in place to be able to maintain those, develop those, further them. But our idea is to have the mobile app for very specific, to have all of the communications and everything that we are used to as DeFi investors on Telegram. All of that would happen through the mobile app as well for that community of new investors that come in. And so they'll have the online tutorials and the education curriculum and everything on through that mobile app. They'll also be able to have the same investment management system that we're used to on the D app on a a PC or a mobile phone, but it'll all happen through the web app. So that's going to become sort of a portal into ArkFi, and they'll have access to the products and services related to that, but then also different features that are more geared towards the less experienced crowd.
Yeah, you touched on also emphasis on education. This is going to be very important, especially when you're dealing with interface in the real fiat world for those onboarding through a mobile app. So it's a great gateway into it. So I'm assuming you'll have build out a content and education based support for people to appreciate that, like snippets and how to do stuff. Is there anything specific that may be unique or interactive to help
I would
people?
say
Is there going to be live support, stuff like that?
Yeah, we're going to have to start even with the basics. Our idea is that our concept is that there's basically a funnel. There's an initial investment that happens, and then there's an education process that happens shortly after that to inspire them to continue with the investment, how to manage the investment, but then grow the investment. And I think that it goes hand in hand with us, making it easier for them to have access to it and to onboard. But then it's also educating them on how it can benefit them and making them feel comfortable knowing which products and which strategies to use to grow that investment. So that whole process will happen from, what is DeFi? A majority of people don't even know what DeFi is. They just think it's crypto. They don't know the difference between crypto and a blockchain. They don't understand centralized finance versus decentralized finance. So it's even that whole process of getting the mindset in the right place, and then teaching them about how the investment works in the various products, so that they know, where their money's going, what they can expect from the investment, and then get them to the point where they would feel comfortable enough talking to somebody else about it and referring that friend, family member or colleague into the project. So once you get to that level, you're not only going to be putting more assets in, but then you're also going to be bringing other people to the investment once you have that comfort level.
Brett, FAQ. I'm a mobile user. I go to the FAQ and I see, isn't ARK a Ponzi? What's your answer to that?
Well, yeah, that's been answered in probably every daily RI DApp out there. I mean, Ponzi means there's fraud and there's no real product. So that right there pretty much eliminates that, eliminates that from the conversation. So there's no fraudulent behavior
but the fact
happening
that
here.
If there's no new players coming in, is it sustainable? That's a real answer.
The network effects, obviously, of any cryptocurrency is the same thing. So you take Shiba Inu, and if you don't have, Elon Musk tweeting about Dogecoin, where do you think the price is going to go on Dogecoin? So our entire financial system, we give value to things that we feel are worth something, whether that's a piece of gold or silver or anything. Now, obviously, things have utility. So that's up to us to build that utility, which grows the value in people's minds, right? But at the end of the day, you could argue that our whole financial system is based on Ponzinomics. It really is. So, we as a society give value to things that we think are valuable, and we'll pay a fair price for those things based on what we believe to be a fair value, right? So, I think it's a deflecting type answer to people. To me, it just never really resonated. I think people want to dismiss it quickly that way. But if you look at, any coin, any crypto, any dollar, it's only worth what people are willing to pay for it, or it's only worth the confidence that people have in it, just like fiat. So once people have lost all
The thing
confidence in
is,
fiat, then it
Brett,
crumbles to the ground. Go ahead.
clearly the fiat is Ponzi. It's a Ponzi ever since it's not based on anything intrinsically from this gold. But the thing is, the fact that the yield is very high relative to the fiat world and other financial apps that people might be looking at, and you have related apps when you're searching the store. I'm sure you're going to look into that deeply. You want to be getting that attention. Then they're going to see, oh, what is it really? Okay, it's 37%, right? If you're at 2% with the 4 to 3 CWR, you might want to change that name or something like that, terminology. But then you drop down to 1%, which would be 17% monthly per month, based on that's the CWR of 1.33, right? So that's huge compared to the real world comparison of, say, oh, there's investment vehicle or opportunity, quote unquote, opportunities that are pitching 10% APY, okay, in the real world. So that's more realistic. So it's funny because it's hard, almost too good to be true feeling, from a general standpoint. Like I said, it's real. Like how's that possible, right? Like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, what a
Yeah.
good tell. Like, banks have been screwing us all this time, the system. So that's a messaging. So you can overcome
Yeah.
that. And then another point I would say, if I want to mention too, is that from an investor that is more in touch with the DeFi, the concern for a system like this and a couple other, another one that I'm in, that has a liquidity controller to maintain a price floor. One of the big questions and big interest for me and others, I'm sure, will be how it can be sustained based on external utility, revenue generating utility, or through other investments, right? Active or passive. And so it would be very important for me to see. I want to see how, as much as you can share, of course, how that treasury is making investments that are yielding value that can be supplemented if needed to provide more runway for the controller. Now, clearly, the sentiment will be changing. It's volatile based on the market. Right now, it's beat down, of course, and it could be for some time. And so, especially in this time, launching through, let's say, an ice age, if it happened, how would you maintain that? That's an important question to what you can share. That's what I would want to look for. Otherwise, there's not a time urgency for this, right? Like,
Yep.
the coin is not going to moon because you're controlling the it's price bound. So those are the two things I see. Well, this latter point is a very important one for me to appreciate, because if
we
ultimately people are
understand
going
that.
to look at runway, couldn't calculate runway, I will tell you right now,
For sure. Yeah, we understand that. Yeah, we plan on managing that treasury fund and our external investments with complete transparency. Having a real type P&L balance sheet type structure to that and report to the community in that way. So yeah, I think you can expect that from us. Obviously, we don't have all those details out right now, and also that's going to become part of the DAO function, and the DAO being a governance body for helping us make those decisions about projects and external investments. So yeah, we plan on being very transparent. We understand that there's a kind of a narrative going around about like the centralization of decentralized platforms. And to us, it's just a narrative. It's just a polarizing smear campaign for a lot of projects that are out there, not just ours, but others that you're friends with. And I think I think it could be thought of as a positive, or I guess some people are taking it negatively. But we obviously never intended to make this a pure centralized play or anything like that, because it is DeFi, and we have pure intentions about the fundamentals of DeFi and why we're even in this space. We're not bankers, we're not centralized corporation or anything like that. So we want to help create a vision and build a foundation of investors that kind of share the same mindset that we do, and then all row in the same direction together. I think that's very important to understand. and then create the transparency. I mean, I think it's kind of in the tagline of who we are and what our values and vision for the project are, which, transparency is the top thing. A transparent environment, a sustainable environment. And I think that you'll see in our behaviors and how we operate, as much of the core team being able to communicate in that way and share and bring in people like you to help us make decisions and steer and guide as much as possible. I think you'll see that behavior from us, and it'll be built into how we proceed with those investments for sure. It's important to me too. I mean, we're all if you see how we structured this, the whole team is in the protocol. There's no extra tokens. I can't get my tokens out faster than you and sell them faster than you. I can't dump a big bag on the market. So my concern is also having that liquidity there, supporting the liquidity controller, ensuring that we'll all be able to exit gracefully from this protocol when the time comes. And yeah, so we're all on board. I have no advantage over you, and you have no advantage over me in that case. So we're all wanting the same thing, seeking the same thing. We've talked about building, back-end dashboards that everybody can see, so they can see where the liquidity is flowing, and mapping, different transaction volumes and everything across the protocol. And we have the people and the capabilities of doing and building great things from an analytics standpoint. So I think all of that will be a very refreshing thing in the space. And if we want to move the needle in terms of innovation and bring something new to the market, we're going to have to do that in a relatively short period of time. We understand there's a certain runway that's inherent in these projects. So that's why we're really pushing this mass market play. And we'll also have those immediate external investments lined up and be able to go quickly into those, assuming we have the capital and we can make those arrangements in a short period of time. But then we hope that there's other investments. I know you've shared some of your thoughts and ideas on that as well, that come from the partnerships and the communities that are the other investors in the community along the way. So, and I know that we're already attracting great players, great minds, great investors that have their hands in other opportunities, outside crypto even. So I think we'll continue attracting those just through our vision and our ethic and our transparency. Will bring people to this that feel comfortable sharing those kind of ideas. So that's a good point, Nito. I think we all want that transparency, and we all want that kind of security in the investments that we're going to make.
Yeah, especially if that's great, but especially because this is a multi-year, you're going into something knowing it's multi-year, unless you put, like I was saying, huge amount of capital up front to kind of get to max, let's say in 7-8 months. The majority is going to be multiple years, 3 to 4, even 5 years, depending on what you're starting with. So that's why it's going to be important to show that, like you're touching on, how the investments are creating value and then can be used to maintain the withdrawals, obligation. One thing I was going to also ask is, so regarding the transparency for the fund, the treasury fund you're managing, will there be a breakdown of what they actually are, like the breakdown of the investments and what they're producing, or is it going to be more general?
No, we're gonna be pretty frank about that, and I think Alice has talked about that at length, about the partnerships that we have are the initial partnerships that we have and the external investments we plan to do are ones that are special and unique. Those are relationships that Atlas has had for years, and he's not worried about revealing who those are, so they can't be cannibalized by other projects or people that want to come in and take advantage of that. It just won't happen. So those are things that are exclusive to ArkFi. So we're confident in sharing those.
Oh, that's very interesting. So they're unique fund opportunities. that through relationships. That's exclusive. That's good. That's really good.
And the DAO will be voting on this. We want to be very clear. It's not us making the decisions. It's the DAO here at ARK. It's their funds as well. So these are not decisions that the team will be deciding for all the community, all the investors. So that I think brings a level of fairness and letting the voices be heard, the votes be counted, and presenting our duties to present you guys those opportunities in a format that is transparent. Real world investments, they have contracts, research on the companies, the officers of those companies, their backgrounds. This is serious business, ladies and gentlemen. This is not something to be taken very light. So we have that fiduciary duty to our investors to present everything and let you guys make the decision. And then if it's something that passes, then we'll go ahead and start the process. But everything we're to be doing here is, long term. So we have to pick very carefully. We have to time the market. I've touched on, 2 of those investments, but maybe we'll put 4, 5 on the table and see which one, really sits right and takes a majority vote and interest from the community.
Yeah, that's great.
Great.
I wanted to also ask about security. You have somebody that's, or you guys in the team have a legal background and appreciation for how ARK could be mislabeled or relabeled as a security. And I was wondering, with all the fiat on-ramping, off-ramping planning, if how you're factoring in the legality of that potential issue, right? If it becomes a security, what ways are you looking at from that perspective in the future to avoid the issues?
Can't avoid regulations. You have to fall in line. When the time comes, we have to cross that bridge, and at that time, we would have to, defer to council and find the solutions and the best way to be able to adapt and incorporate ourselves into a legal structure. Once the regulation is very clear on a global basis, pick the best place. And I want to warn you, let's not go down that path again that we've done here too many times, because you always want to know where we're going to go. Is it Dubai? Is it Singapore? We wasted a lot of energy on that. And I think we've had very extensive conversations on that, Nito. So we will defer to council and have to really see what regulations are happening, where, and then make those decisions. Let's get this crypto. We have Kirch Roberto. Sir, Monday night, welcome to the podcast. This is number 21. Coach, how you feeling? How are you doing? Let's have a conversation.
I'm feeling great. And I'm just listening to the conversation. I like the questions about being able to be flexible and really know all the regulations or non-regulations, so you can play the game coming from integrity, because not the foundation won't be there. So and if anybody's ready to breathe, we can do some breathing exercises.
Oh man, let me say hi to Z real quick, because he came in and we were deep in the conversation. And Nato, thank you for your questions, man. Always appreciate it. And I love the exercise, because man, when you guys start talking, especially when Brett's coming with these answers, I think it brings so much really clarity of how he thinks and what's on his mind, and the vision, the integrity, the values that he has as a person and as a leader here as part of this team. And I just love it, because it's providing an opportunity for us to really connect, communicate, and present where we're going, our visions, what our intentions are, what we're planning. And a lot of times, I mean, The other night you weren't here, Nato, and I was like, hey, anybody want to ask a question? Is there anybody, a comment? And a lot of folks are just really quiet or shy. I know Juan's over there cooking dinner for the family. A lot of folks are here hanging out, but doing other things. So, always appreciated to have that. And I love the dialogue. I love the questions, because there's a lot of, questions on people's mind that they're just afraid to ask. And NATO doesn't. Z, how are you, man? How are you feeling? How's that recovery from that injury on the hand? Welcome back. I missed you last night. You got here after we had already closed it up. It was an early one. I had a lot of work to do yesterday evening, man. I just want to say hi to you.
Hey, no worries, man. The recovery is pretty well. The wound's healing, and I can start to take the bandage off, because the first few days it was dripping quite a bit, but now I'm in a good place. I'm in a good place, and nothing makes me more fascinated than crypto. So I'd like to give some opinions after hearing that whole conversation between Brett and Neto. That was pretty interesting. And could I get a few minutes, or are we breathing?
Yeah, let's get into it, and then after that, we'll do a breath with Coach. Coach, you got time, right? Can hang out with us for a little bit as we get back into the deep conversation, and sit back, and Z's going to take us on the journey here. Let's get this crypto.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Thank you. So the first thing I want to kind of go through is I've been through about 30 different DeFi protocols in the past 24 hours. The reason being is because when treasury bonds are being bought up as hard as they are, the fear and greed index is something to really look at. So we are currently in extreme fear. And when we're in extreme fear, everybody's going through a lot of questioning. USDT going through a lot of questioning. MakerDAO, one of my favorite DAOs, is going through a bunch of questioning, and it's a good thing. It's a good thing, because what happens is the community sort of come through and want reassurance that DeFi is the way it's working, and because we've been through a bunch of centralized the past couple of weeks, but whenever Bitcoin sort of dips, we see the same thing happen where we dip by 1%, and when we dip by 1%, you can say stables get challenged, protocols when it comes to vaults get challenged, and everyone wants transparency, and it's a beautiful thing that DeFi is something that can offer relevant transparency, where you can go into the block explorer and see how the contract functions. And as you start to learn how the block explorers work and see the contract sort of either buy and sell, you can see it all in full transparency. So that's something that in general needs to start looking into, and we will start to build around the education that. So yeah, we are in extreme fear. And when we're in extreme fear, we do have to take a deep breath and hold that for 30 seconds, and then breathe out and feel what we're investing in, or what we're promoting and stuff. So right now, yeah, everything's being sort of questioned. But the cool thing that's happening is DeFi is offering solutions in all perspectives when it comes to the FTX debacle, when it comes to the Genesis debacle that we're kind of going through with the withdrawals. The way I would say the order book works is very different, because people are usually like, when they buy, there's a spread, and people sell, and there's a spread. In DeFi, it kind of works through liquidity pools. So it's something that that needs to be educated a little bit, because it works completely different to the order book model. And the more we understand that, the more DeFi can sort of educate us, especially when we're in extreme fears, especially when sort of the narrative is the way it is. We're seeing sort of rumors in the government in America where they're looking for, as we say, regulation. But then we also have a bunch of, you can say, DAOs that are actually challenging the regulation, because what the politicians do is they like to box and label things, and then as they start to like label, they start to have to go through the whole theoreticals of understanding how cryptocurrency works. So it's for me, like it's an interesting place where a lot of, you can say, knowledge gets seeked by everyone of every single age, and people sort of question their portfolio a little bit, and we are going through a little storm, but storms are what's basically I uh, I would say out with the old, in with the new, and right now centralized exchanges have, you can say, guardianships, and us that understand peer-to-peer technology, that understand how sort of liquidity pools work, will sort of think the latter, and say that there's a better explanation for these things. So we are going through a bit of extreme sort of fear, and everyone's sort of selling their tokens, or buying the dip. There's people that are like looking into that as well. So it's great to understand technical charts at these moments, and just to sit back and see development. But thus far, DeFi is winning when it comes to, you can say, protocol alliances, when it comes to partnerships, when it comes to showing the proof of stake sort of mechanism, and the voter mechanism. So I'm in a place of a gray zone where people sort of DM me and asking for the next token, and I told them to not look into the next token, but understand the mechanisms a little bit. So that's what we'll be doing here. But yeah, and then we can grow see them.
Z, do you think the fear index can go lower?
Pardon, could you say that again? That else? Oh, my bad.
The fear, greed and fear index is very, very useful. Yes. Do you think it can go lower, or like how you think we're kind of bottoming out on that? Excuse me. The fear is the highest. You think it's the high point?
I think there's a bit more to come. There's a bit more fear to come, and thus far, like you can say, the card companies like Crypto.com and Monolith are being questioned. But as they sort of show their wallets, we can see that they're being transparent, and they're using DeFi to do that. So I'd say we are in extreme fear for the next couple of weeks, and then we'll have a pullback, and then we'll be back to business as usual, and you'll see releases of a bunch of projects. A lot of projects are holding their releases as well. That this is another thing. So I pride the team here that because I've seen, I think, 3 bear markets now in the past 3.5 years, and the projects that sort of release at the bottom are the ones that sort of build up momentum. So I'm very skeptical of the fear and greed index, and I think there's a lot of psychology behind it. But we'll see. We'll monitor things and keep going through the different facets. But yeah, we are in extreme fear, if anything.
Yeah. So one of the things about viewing wallets of, say, other card providers like crypto, how do you know they're not leveraging that asset with others? How do you know? Is there a way to tell based on like a report or reading about that report that you've seen?
I mean, Crypto.com. What Crypto.com did was they released. If you search Crypto.com and see, I forgot the keywords, but you can see what their highest token buys are. So you can see Ethereum, and then you can see things like Shiba and Doge, and that kind of shows me where the populace is right now. Right now, the populace is still in the sort of 100x community of of buying into Shiba at the dip and seeing a 10x or 20x. And I think Crypto.com has been very transparent, which is pretty awesome. I like their CEO and how he's sort of like taking up questions on Twitter, and how he's showing his wallets, and I think more exchanges will sort of follow through as well. But as I said, like these card companies, what they are is a reflection of what the community, or what the DeFi community really wants, and currently they are still buying into the next 100x. So hopefully, as DeFi sort of builds, as ARK and sort of other yield-based protocols build, we can basically sort of counter that. And when people go through a minus 100x, for example, on a Shiba, they can come to us and really get some real knowledge and some insight. But yeah, I think the general populace is still searching for the next 100x, which is unfortunate.
Right, but that's great that you could see their asset, their tokens that they're holding and stuff. But how do you know they're not leveraging that for others, for other things? Like you could hold an asset
Mhm.
and use that as collateral for leveraging something else, and then you over leveraged, and then boom, you get washed out. So how do
Mhm.
you know? Do you know?
At this current moment, they only show you their holdings, so you wouldn't like get to see their smart contract, or you wouldn't be able to go to the Explorer and see how they leverage. For me, like leveraging is a steep slope, and it takes a bunch of like it would take me a couple of hours to kind of explain how an exchange leverages on stables, or how an exchange leverages on BTC on its own, or uses things like Ren. So we will talk about it. We will talk about it. I think it's pretty interesting. But when it comes to transparency, all I want to see is, are they allowing folks to buy the tokens that they want, and are they allowing people to withdraw the tokens that they want? I mean, into fiat. And thus far, like I've looked into a monolith in crypto.com a little bit, and thus far they withdrawals are in full swing. So I have no concerns there right now.
So for example, Coinbase with USDC, they had a statement before, actually, I think crypto.com did, because of the whole turmoil, right? With FTX.
Mm-hmm.
So they issued the fact that, oh, we have everything is backed by dollars, et cetera, in our amount. So look, how do you know that's true though? Like I'm just as a simple, as a layman question. How do you know
Mm-hmm.
that's real? That's really what they say. What they say is great. It's beautiful. They could all say beautiful. Didn't Tether also say before that they're all there, and but they never had a full, it was never clarified. It's not certain as well. How do you know that they're not playing these, I say leverage, and reinvesting
Um,
that stuff?
yeah, I mean, for me, when it comes to like leveraging, when an ecosystem kind of says that we're halting withdrawals, that's when it sort of takes my interest. So, for example, right now, when it comes to Genesis, for example, Genesis have like sort of halted withdrawals, so I'm keeping a close eye on them and seeing their development there. Thus far, if withdrawals aren't being halted, then we can sort of presume that it's business as usual. But yeah, there's many different facets to look at. But yeah, I think with time, and as we go through extreme fear, as we are right now, and as we go through the months, we're going to be seeing. I mean, we have to see a bunch of transparency from things like Coinbase, but as I said, like Coinbase is still very centralized for me, and I don't particularly
It's
use it
what?
myself. Uh, Coinbase is centralized as anything, and
Yeah, because
in
they could be the
basically.
future CBDC. They're like a prime candidate for that, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, not as bad as FTX. FTX in a different vote on a bunch of things when it came to CVCs or gatekeepers. So I think like Coinbase currently, I need to study their DeFi side as well, like how their wallets work. And when I get more insights on that, then I'll come back to you on that.
I think the answer is unknowable. I think my question is very general. Like it's not possible to know. You have to go based on trust, and by the time they try to slow down withdrawals, it's too late, right? And so this is going to continue to happen because they're playing games. They're playing games with the treasury and with the funds that are not fully backed, or backed by the amount that they claim, right? Because they're always going to try to chase, like you're saying, the current sentiment is chasing the 100x coin, the next
Hmm.
one. So they're going to continue that because they're going to chase more yield. It's always just striving to make more. You know, that's what I see for quite some time, for the next good period, I would say, like the
Yeah,
next year.
yeah, that's why, like, I think when folks ask me what tokens to buy on DeFi, or not, what to buy on your Coinbase and Binances, and I told them to open up DApp Radar, open up DeFi Llama, and connect your wallet to these protocols and understand where the yields are, because these things, they give me more, you can say, statistics, and then through sort of Block Explorer, I'm able to see the protocol and how their DAOs work and how they hold stable. So that's what I do. I send people away from sort of Coinbase, and I tell them to move their Ethereums and their BNB tokens all onto their MetaMask wallet, and then work in DeFi. And I think that's what we're doing here. We're trying to work in DeFi and be as transparent. But yeah, centralized exchanges, they can show their portfolio and show you how they're dealing with sort of customer demands. And as long as they are allowing withdrawals, I have no reason to question them. But if they halt withdrawals, that's when I start to take an interest. So yeah, it's but yeah, I hate talking about things that like speculative. But you raised a really unique point about Coinbase, so I will look into their site. Appreciate that.
Let's get this crypto. Thank you, Z. Man, that was fantastic. Thank you for bringing us all that alpha and doing that research to share here with our community. Very interesting. I did not know about the Gemini, and I tend to agree with you. That's where you start, getting concerned. We've said it here many times to investors that you don't want to be having your crypto on an exchange at this time. You want to be in a DeFi wallet. Absolutely. Better safe than
No,
sorry.
absolutely, absolutely. And so I appreciate. Sorry, can you guys hear me? I keep cutting out.
Yeah.
Okay, just one last. So our DAO just launched its privacy protocol. Want to look into it? I'll read a small little.
Hold on a second, Z. You were cutting out there for a second. Let's see if you come out of the matrix. You were cutting out. You were in the matrix for a bit.
Other than the matrix, no worries. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah. So Dan launched. I haven't launched it. Actively the it's called and be to build private apps, private DEX, and private stables on that. So maybe next time we can go into a bigger deep dive into that.
Absolutely, brother. Thank you so much. And hey, go ahead, Z. You there?
I don't know why I keep coming out. Can you hear me now?
It's not great. Try again.
No worries. No.
No.
Yeah, that was my final. Yeah, I'm in the matrix. The matrix is glitching. Yeah, midnight was the thing I was going to say. And we can sort of take it forward from here. But that's it for me for today. Thank you.
Fantastic, man. Very great analysis. Thank you for bringing that alpha, as you always do, man. Quite spectacular. Let's get this crypto. So we have Coach Roberto in the house. Oh, wait. Is there a question from Ma?
Yeah, hi. I'm sorry if my question has been already touched before, but since this year we have been many explored, I was wondering if the certification, sorry, not pun intended, will be released before the actual launch or after or immediately after, just to be sure no major criticity will be found after the launch. And my second question was directly for you, Atlas. A couple of days ago, I sent you a DM. I was wondering if you could read it and tell me if my humble question could be considered or rather not. Thank you.
Thank you, and I do apologize to you for not getting back. I'm sitting on, I think it's like now around 1,200 DMs that came from the private sale, man. So many people came and wrote us requesting really to, you see here, November 19th. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and reply to you. So it's piling up. I'm using the folders here in Telegram. They're really becoming a lifesaver and necessity and a great tool to help me get organized and file everybody. So generally when I get to you and I have start a conversation with you, for those of you that are here that are listening, I place you into folders and you can see that our conversations become seamless. I'm a firm believer in answering immediately. It's very important to be able to communicate in business in a fast manner. So to your question about the CERTIC, at this point, we do not have a exact date. So we don't want to, give you guys a timeline, an exact date, as we don't have it from CERTIC. But we will be in the next couple of days having a final answer for you as to when that's going to be and how that ties into the launch. Great question, by the way. Is there anyone else that has a question or a comment? You can mute your mic, step right up. All right. Well, Coach, it is all yours, man. Thank you for coming. I think we're going to make this a tradition here at ARK on Mondays for those folks that want to come and do some fantastic breathing, get some relaxation. I know we have a lot of tension. We're in our chairs. We're looking at charts, some of us, and a lot of people are actually going through some stress right now, some pain out in those markets. I mean, that's why they're coming to ARK. They want to find that stable return on investment on the long-term basis with a great yield. So, Coach, thank you for being here. Thank you for the session that you provided for the whole team here, the core team at ARK. It was a great time to be around the rest of the team and work on our visions and really getting us organized. As this is it's a great feat that's ahead of us, and we need to be able to really sharpen our skills and be able to communicate and work as a unit, which we're doing very, very well right now. But even taking it to that whole another level and planning where we want to be in a year and 2 years and so forth. And we thank you for bringing that clarity and asking us to really take the time to focus and envision and plan. Because if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. All right, Coach.
Well, thank you for that. So I'm doing a lot of breathing just to try to keep up with you guys. Being so creative and and just being in this world of crypto is. So did I hear correctly that I should move all my stuff away from Coinbase?
Yes, actually, absolutely.
Okay, so I thought
An alarm, but it's better safe than sorry, Coach.
it's not a lot, but I have a little bit of it. So today I just want to do a breathing technique that can support anybody that is kind of like stressed and is having difficulty in going to sleep or getting a lot of anger. There's a way to breathe a certain way that supports you to relax your body and be able to breathe differently and go to sleep easier and get rid of your anger or your anxiety. And that breath is breathing in and out your nose, and then you take your tongue and you put it over your front teeth. And then what we do is we do the 20 breath technique that I taught last time, which is 4 sets of 5. I'm going to breathe in through the nose, but with your tongue above your front teeth or the bottom teeth, whatever feels more comfortable. And the reason we do that is because by doing that with your tongue, your chin starts relaxing. And if your chin relaxes, your body starts relaxing. So if you notice if you get upset or something, right? Or you get angry because a deal went wrong or whatever, just notice how tense your chin gets. So the idea is to relax your chin and then use the breath to 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 reduce your sympathetic nervous system down to parasympathetic, which is kind of like, lowering that flight or fear energy. And you can do it through the breath. So are we ready to do some breathing? Did everybody follow that, or anybody have any question of what I just said?
Sir, yes, sir. We're ready.
You ready? Okay, so remember, put your tongue over your front teeth, and then I'll count. I'll say, okay, inhale, exhale, right? But you inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. And we're going to do 4 sets of 5. On the 5th one, we take it in deep. The other 4, they're short, they're circular, which means we don't stop, we don't pause and inhale the exhale. It's a circular breath. So here we go. Ready? First set. Inhale, exhale. Inhale 2, exhale. Inhale 3, exhale. Inhale 4, exhale. Now inhale, take it deep. Let it go through the nose. Now pause. We're going into the second set. Ready? Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale 3, exhale. Inhale 4, exhale. Then take it in deep. Inhale, exhale. Now pause. Attention on the breath. Third set. Inhale, exhale. Inhale 2, exhale. Inhale 3, exhale. Inhale 4, exhale. Then take it in deep again. Exhale. Notice how you're feeling. Now we're going to the last set. Here we go. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale 3, exhale. Inhale 4, exhale. Now take it in deep and pause and hold. Inhale, hold it. Relax your body, relax your mind. Just observe how you're feeling. If you have to release, go ahead and release. If you can keep holding, hold, relax your body. Notice how you're feeling. Be in the silence. And when you're ready, you can let it go. Keep your eyes closed. Just observe how you're feeling. Notice any anxiety, any like energy moving, any sensations, any emotions. And just be the observer. There's nothing to do. Just relax. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Just notice how you're feeling. And that's just one of 20 breath technique, and there's many that you can use depending on what you need to do. But that's a good one. And to do it even slower if you're in bed and you're lying down to go to sleep.
I'm gonna let maybe somebody else wants to make a comment. How did that go for them? Love to hear from you.
Doing it, and I think it is helpful.
Awesome. How are you feeling?
And I'm feeling sick today, and it's getting worse. So I'm listening, and then I try to breathe out, breathe in, and I think
Mhm.
it lets my body a little bit better. So I think this is a good one. So yeah, thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. And practice. You
Who's
should
that?
practice 5 minutes in the evening at least, minimum 5 minutes midday and 5 minutes in the morning, if you can.
I have a question about that.
Okay. What's the
5 minutes
question?
in the morning and then 5 minutes in the evening. But what if
Mhm.
I'm into like exercise? If I play a game or soccer
Yeah.
or golf or whatever, and then if I
Yeah.
feel nervous, how do you do that?
Uh-huh. You do like it's first it's the first thing is become aware and conscious that you're anxious or nervous, and that's the first thing. Then the next thing is to just start relaxing and then do the 20 breath technique, maybe through the mouth. If, let's say you're playing soccer or whatever it is, and then relax with the exhale, like letting the exhale go, right? Or you breathe in and out your nose or in and out the mouth, and just apply it to whatever you're doing. So if you're playing a game or you're doing work or you're looking to see what you're gonna do with crypto, you can become conscious and take charge of the breath instead of letting the breath breathe you. Because right now it's probably breathing very shallow when you're working or you're playing a game. So the idea is to relax and be able to take charge of the breath and then play with it. And you practice. But the more you can practice before you play, like the more you do that, your body starts doing it automatic. But it takes practice. To change a bad habit, it usually takes 21 to 30 days.
Hey,
Okay. All
Roberto.
right. So make
Yes,
it
Great,
habit.
great breathing exercise, my friend. Great one. I started about after the second go around, my tongue started trembling and shaking a little bit, and I started concentrating on my tongue where it was at, where I was having to put it at above or below my teeth. Is there
Mhm.
a technique, or is that just something like you said? You'll over practice over time, your body will adapt and be more relaxed, or is there
Yeah,
a preference on
yeah,
that?
absolutely. No, absolutely. Because right now what happens is when you get triggered, your body is breathing incorrectly. Is usually breathing shallow, not full, right? So with practice, like practicing a certain, like technique, like the 20 breath technique, the more you practice it, then it becomes like in the reptilian part of the brain, it starts like replacing the bad habit. So then your body starts breathing the way it should breathe. But it's all practice.
So in the nose and out the nose, because I've always heard breathe in your nose, exhale out your mouth, but that's really not doing what you're saying here as far as for the clarity of the mind and relaxing and getting fully engaged. It's the in your nose and out is a better than in your nose and out your mouth.
No, 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 it all depends. But you can do in the nose and out the nose. It's a like if you really want to work more your throat and your upper chakras. You know what chakras are? Like your awareness and then your crown chakras. Through the nose, it helps you. And then to remove in the exhale through the nose, it helps release, the stored anxiety or traumas a lot easier. It's easier to integrate through the nose. But breathing through the mouth, it really activates your body. So if you got stuff in your body that you need to release or open up quickly or whatever, in and out the mouth, it's really powerful. But through the nose and the mouth, it's also good. The key is to relax, no matter what you're doing. so you don't resist.
Waking. So I guess so. Trying to put a spark and wake up your so-called
Yeah,
third eye. Your third eye, huh? Kind
yeah.
of the way this is going. Yeah. I definitely felt a sense of relaxation and felt a little better than I did beforehand. So I'm assuming after practice and after more techniques, I mean your body will certainly adapt more to that. So I appreciate you sharing that. That's um, a nice tool, and I think everybody on this chat and everyone could use that at times and feel better about themselves. So good exercise. Appreciate that.
Okay, you're welcome.
Anybody else want to share their experience through the breath or has a comment? Love to hear from you.
That was a quick. Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, the matrix is glitching me a little bit, but I was able to do the 20 steps. So does it have to be always the lip above the upper teeth
No,
and breathing
no,
through?
that was just one type of 20 breath technique to help reduce anger, right? And also like people that like you start biting your teeth when you're going to sleep and you're moving back and forth. This is that's a good exercise to help you release that and calm down, because you start relaxing your jaw with the tongue that way.
Yeah, I think it's something that I'll be practicing before I start trading work session or native session for sure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Awesome.
Did you feel good, Z?
What's that?
I asked Z if he felt good, if he relaxed. He's suffering from hand injury. He cut himself the other day. So I thought the would help him. Brett, did you get your breath in with Coach?
Hey, oh yeah, yeah. And you know what? I forgot to I forgot to breathe today while I was working, and because we just had so many things going on at once.
Yeah.
So that was good. Kind of finished the day that way, and yeah, I feel great. Thank you, Coach.
All right, Brett. Yeah, just practice. That's just one breath. There's many different kinds of breath, but the 20 breath, it's a circular breath, and the energy doesn't stop. So being able to like not do pauses in your inhale and exhale is a very, very powerful breath.
And I heard you be here every Monday and teach us something new.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Fantastic. Oh, Dr. Marcel, you just missed it. We did a breathing exercise with Coach Roberto. It was awesome, very powerful. You're just 5 minutes late to the What?
Screening because of the bloodbath of crypto now. I'm when I see the chart, I'm kind of nervous.
You need to breathe more, man. You need with an oxygen tank.
Take a big sigh of relief. If anything else fails, everybody just a sigh of relief intentionally. So you breathe like inhale through nose like 2 or 3 seconds, and then relax your shoulders and let it go through the mouth. So you breathe through the nose and let it go. Do that 3 or 4 or 5 times, and that's a quick way to come down of anxiety or whatever it is. I call that.
Go ahead.
Somebody said something?
Interrupted you. Sorry, Coach. Go ahead.
No, it's just the sigh of relief. It's when you do a sigh of relief. Let's say you made it through a deal or something, and you go, oh shit, I'm glad that's over. Your body is telling you to relax, and it does it automatically. But if you do it intentionally, it's a real powerful breath. And we do that in a 20 breath technique. That's really what we're doing. We're doing the silent relief, but in a continuous way. So remember to always relax that exhale. That helps for you to let go of anything in your body, anything in your mind. It helps you. And to stop resisting. Because if you hold your breath and you're resisting, you're keeping it in place. The only way to release something is through the experience, but you have to relax so it can move through it. So that's one of the key variables. And even if you're gonna be a master crypto guy, you want to be nice and clear and relaxed. You have an advantage. Any questions?
Wow, that was awesome, Coach.
I love it when there's silence.
They came here for ARK and crypto, and they got a lot more. You got Z coming and giving us so much knowledge of really what's happening. The ear to the ground, the temperature gauge of on a day-to-day basis is important to all of us. And I mean, I know for myself, I'm so busy working here. I can't watch news. We're just looking at our work. So when he comes, I know it helps me a lot. Maybe some of the other investors here are actually looking actively at the markets all the time. But it's nice to have that format, and not only just here, but hearing the news is one thing, but being able to dissect it and have a conversation about it and look at different points of view, I think makes us all better investors. Excuse me, I have to cough 1 second. Thank you for coming, folks. Thank you for participating with us tonight, Coach. This is a home for you, and you're always welcome. Same time, every single night, 6 p.m. EST, 11 p.m. UTC. And this is what we do every day. We're building prosperity, abundance, security for investors on a long-term basis, and it is a task that is not taken lightly. So with that, we're here. And Coach, can I get a let's get this crypto?
Let's get this crypto.
Let's go, man. All right. All right, man.
Let's inhale. Let's get you inhale. Let's get the crypto. You inhale it in.
Oh, yeah.
And you share it with your families and friends.
Let's get everybody crypto. Let's get everybody on board the ARK and earning, and put that passive income on the table, man. Oh, I'm down with that. I'm down with it. Man, absolutely. So if there's no other questions, I think we're going to go ahead and close the podcast. I'm going to open it up for another 20 seconds in case somebody wants to ask a question before we finish the recording. We're going to hang out for a couple of minutes after that, as we usually do.
Well, Atlas,
All right.
Thank you for having me.
Always a pleasure, man.
All right.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Have
good
a good night.
Or good morning, everyone, wherever you're at.
Thank you, folks, for joining us. This is the podcast number 21. We'll be back tomorrow, same time. And thank you for the folks that are listening to the recording at a time of your convenience. I hope that you got something out of this conversation, the questions that were asked, the answers, and you're learning more each day about ARK, the team, what we're doing here, and you see us grow and thrive together. Have a great night. Thank you.